Hi, thank you very much for being here. So today the theme is a balancing act, getting real about female leadership. And I think there is no better way to understand female leadership than sharing experience from two wonderful leaders who have been founder of their companies and who have went through the path of leadership with success, and we have a lot to learn from them. So first of all, I would like to give a bit of context to this conversation. I would like to give the opportunity to Lupina and Anna to introduce who they are and what they have done, what has been their journey. So maybe Lupina, if you can start.
Well, thank you for having me here. It's a complete pleasure being here again in South Summit. I am Lupina Iturriaga, founder of FinTonic. It's a fintech app. What we do different things. First, from one point, we want to make a positive impact in financial education through our users. We have over 1 million users that we help them to get the best loan for them and to make them understand how to manage their finance in a better way. No, it's difficult, no, in the personal finance to understand how to manage your daily business, or what we do in that side. And then we have a B2B line that we help banks and financial institutions with all the open banking service that we have already used in our B2C side. So thank you for having me here today.
Anna?
Yes, and it's also a great pleasure for me to be here as well. Thank you very much for the introduction. Clemence, it's a great pleasure to be with all you here. And I'm super proud to be here again in South Summit. I see some faces that I don't know, some other faces that sounds familiar to me. So just to sum up, I'm Ana Duran, the CEO and founder of InnoBooster. InnoBooster is a private innovation agency. We raise public funds for tech companies, Spanish tech companies, any fund, like national, international fund, to make their technological projects grow up. Okay, this is like our first line of business, and the other line of business is strategic consultancy, go-to-market mainly, strategic consultancy to make those products, those solutions, those innovative solutions of the companies grow up and expand in the market. Because the methodology that we have to follow with an innovative product is not the same one as with a traditional one, right? So this is like our own methodology that we have developed inside after a lot of mistakes and things that we have learned. And well, this is InnoBooster. I've also founded Mambo Consulting 1 year ago, another small company, tech company that is well, brand new and growing up. And that's it.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you very much, Lupina and Anna. So maybe to dive into the conversation of female leadership, I think there are three themes that are always important. Number one is overcoming these systemic barriers. Number two, I think mentorship and sponsorship, that is always a big boost for men and for women. And finally, that's a more maybe female topic, is work-life balance. So we will try to cover those three very interesting topics. Maybe we start with you, Anna. How do you think organization can address and break down those barriers to foster gender equality?
Well, I think it's something that we all have to think about. Positive discrimination is a lie. In my opinion, it's a lie. Why? Because positive and discrimination, both words don't match. Come on, if you're positive, you're not discriminating anyone, right? In my opinion. Each one can give his opinion, of course. But it's true that if you discriminate any group of the society, any gender, whatever person, because this person is different, you're making this person being different, like really feeling bad, feeling dumped or silly, whatever. Women are not like dumb or limited to anything. We just need to have the same opportunities as men. not discriminating, just giving the same opportunities. And there are lots of professions where there's lots of women, and there's lots of professions where there is a majority of men. And it's natural. It's not that we have to go to the 50% exactly to be absolutely, no. 50% is not the reality. The reality is that each one of us think about our own goals, our life goals. And each one of us like maybe more a technical profession or health profession or whatever. And we don't need to be exactly 50% men and 50% women. And that's why I think positive discrimination doesn't make sense.
On that note, what about mentorship and sponsorship, which is an important topic, I think, for success? Lupina, did mentorship play a role in your own professional growth?
Of course, I see here a lot of women and men also. Mentorship is really important because it means guidance. It means help you know in this path that, as you know, a startup is a roller coaster at the end of the day, and there's everything new, and you need to have someone telling you their own mistakes in the past. No, so that's really helpful. But for me, it's not enough. For me, it's much more important sponsorship. Why? Because when you have someone that is in sponsorship, that sponsors you at the end of the day, they are really gonna boost your career because they're gonna introduce you people. You're gonna make networking. They're gonna really present you new opportunities. So you have to, girls, go just to get a great sponsor because it's gonna make a huge, huge difference. You know, you need someone to tell you how good you are, even if you don't know it, because many of you or many women don't realize how good they are, no? And it's the reality. You can tackle whatever you feel, no? She's pregnant. I had 2 kids while I had Fintonic. And Fintonic, my 4th kid at the end. So really, you can handle everything, but you need help. So for me, it's really, really important to find 1 or 2 or 3 great sponsors that help you during all your careers, that introduce you people, that help you with the networking, that not only guidance, because mentorship is quite easy. No? Many people ask me all this year how to help them, and I give you some ideas, and I try to help them. But at the end, if you don't have someone that like pushes you and brings you up, it's impossible. It's not impossible, but it's much, much harder. And in my world, fintech, finance, and tech, they're all men. It's the truth. In the board, only 1 woman. In my work, well, and I try to bring more diversity, more women, but it's very complicated because we don't have CVs of women, no? When we ask for them. So, wow, you need help. You need help in this world, because if not, when you are in the board and they're looking at you and they say he's a macho man and he does not see himself in you. So maybe at the end he discriminates a little bit, you know, and you have to make you value yourself because of the facts, no, at the end of the day. But I think it's still a bit more complicated for women. I really believe it. So, and I have to say that I have great opportunities and I don't feel bad during all my career, but I feel we need to support each other at the end of the day.
And so, what do you think, Anna, is the attribute you should be looking for into a mentor or a sponsor?
Yes, well, I think a mentor or a sponsor should be a person that has more experience than you, of course, and knows well how to do things. But that's not the only thing. The most important thing for me is that this mentor is much better than me in the field I'm asking the advice. This is the point, for me at least. So it's not that I have 1 mentor. I have many mentors actually in my life to whom I can ask lots of advice. For example, my husband, he's so good at human resources. He really knows perfectly what's in the minds of everyone. And he understands perfectly the needs of every person. I'm not that good, but I try. I still try. And when I see I'm taking a wrong decision, maybe I'm asking him, what do you think about that? Give me a second opinion. Maybe there is something that I'm missing. And he always gives me good ideas. For example, my mom, very good at health and food. So why not? When I don't know, like, if I'm doing something right, Mom, what do you think about that? My father, it's an industrial engineer. He's so good at processes, at quality. So when I have like some thoughts about, well, should I improve this process or should I do it in another way? I go to Dad and say, what's the best way to do that? And he always has an answer. So you have to find really your mentor for each one of your fields where you don't feel secure. If you feel super secure, it's because you're very good at it. But still, you can ask for advice. For example, my cousin, before creating Innobooster, I was working in other companies. And my cousin was my boss in one of those companies. And he's super good at having the right perspective, the right learning like all the variables, knowing all the variables that influences a decision. So when I have to take any decision that has some uncertain outcome that really, for example, I haven't faced yet, or I have never gone through it, well, I call my cousin Enrique and say, okay, I have this issue. I'm not sure what is going to happen if I do that. What do you think about that? And he always brings me new variables to take when you're taking the decision to know about that and to think about that before taking this decision. So just go through to the people that really gives you good confidence, that you really admire. So and if you really admire them, it's because they do it well. So go to those people. Each one is very good at some fields, some concrete fields, so go to the one that you really admire in this field. This is my idea.
Yeah. And I think you always need mentor depending on the phase of your life. Sometimes you need someone with a network who can introduce you to the right people. Sometimes you need advice and you need someone who listens. So hence the importance to have a wide range of people. Lupina, now let's change a bit of topic, and I think this is more female leader topic, is work-life balance. Can you tell me how can individuals maintain a healthy work-life balance while pursuing a leadership role?
Yep. Well, it is important, and bear in mind here, all of you, that I feel all women must be also in these roles of management or CEOs. Why? Because at the end of the day, we cannot only leave men make the decision. We are all women and men all together, so we need to do this for our daughters, because all the decisions made in the world cannot be done by men. No? So one thing, that's very important. Bear in mind that you're gonna work like crazy if you are in a startup. That's the truth. And how you handle this, you need to have a husband, in my case, that does much more than me at home. That's the reality. Because if not, I cannot do anything. I need to outsource what I cannot do or what I am not good at. If we go back what you were saying, if I am not good at something, let's outsource it. But you can really handle everything, but you need to be really organized. It's really important that you understand that you have a lot of weight. And once, someone told me, do you remember the old farmers when they have these donkeys that they have a lot of weight and load, and when they came back after working a lot, after the whole day working since 5 in the morning until sunset, what happened there? First, they feed the donkey. First, they give water to the donkey. Why? Because you need to care for yourself first. You are the donkey here. If you are not good, you cannot tackle your day-to-day, So it's very important that you are really good yourself, that you sleep well, that you do gym or whatever. No, I have to do it at 6 o'clock in the morning. 5:30 I wake up. Why? Because if I don't have my own time, it's impossible. It's really, really impossible. But say it so, you can outsource and not only get, please, mentors surround you. That is great. You can admire your cousin or whatever, but try to go other places. No? For example, in Fintonic, I just hired someone from Google that was in Washington, in San Francisco, working, and I really talk about what great was in Madrid, the weather. I want to invite her just to give me some advice about. She was the best UX person in the whole world. But I really make her come. I really make her fall in love with Madrid. I invite her to everything, but we have the most amazing month in Fintonic learning about how she did that. No, that was the trust technology methodology. Methodology is great, no, like to find nudges to make people do whatever you want to do. No, you want them to do. So you have to think big. Maybe here in Spain you are not going to find the people, or wherever you live in United Kingdom, France. You need to go. Where is the best? How can I get info from the best? Because maybe it's not surround you. That's what I feel.
Thank you. Anna, what are the strategy or practices that have helped you achieving work-life balance?
Very, very simple, to be honest with yourself and with everyone, to be clear, to be transparent, like really tell everybody and yourself what you need for yourself to be happy. So when you're doing some work, like, okay, I'm doing this is very good, I love that, so I'm happy with it. Now I need to be happy a lot of family time, so I'm going to reserve this family time to be fully oriented, fully focused in my family. So if you need that to happen, like for example, imagine it's when, for example, you work for a company that expects a lot from you. I really advise you to go to a company that really expects a lot from you, by the way, because this is the right way to feel really, really good. Okay, there's probably 2 days, 2 weeks, or whatever of really high amount of work. It's true, that happens. It's not that you shouldn't say, no, this is my time, this is 5 p.m., I go home. No. Go for it and do it perfectly and surprise everyone because it's great. And after that, you say, okay, now I'm going to reserve next week to be with my family much more because I need to compensate, right? Just be balanced. You have to work hard, perfect. Also play hard. Do both. This is probably the idea.
Thank you. Lupina, how do you think organizations can create a culture that supports work-life balance and flexible working arrangements?
Well, right now there's a lot of controversy among remote work or just go to the office. We have office in Mexico also. As we have a lot of tech people, we have a lot of remote because if not, you cannot hire them. That's the truth. I really feel that when we are all together at the office, this magic comes and better things are going to happen. But I understand you need to have a balance among your life and your work. So first of all, to do that, you need a lot of communication with everyone. You need to be open to hear all your team. You don't have to do whatever your team says, but you have to hear them all the time. Understand what's going on with them, their really personal lives, because they're humans, no? They're also colleagues, but they're humans. And you really need to have, from the very beginning, a professional career developed for each of the person that are in your office. So if they feel you're gonna be like a trampoline for them because you have a great place to work and you're helping them, then everything is gonna be much better at the end of the day, I feel.
Thank you, Lupina. Maybe I would like to take the last few minutes of this panel to thank you so much for your inputs. And I would like to give my perspective on why it is so important that female leader like you give your time and your insights to help the next generation. So the founder of Leaders, and Leaders is an organization that fosters sorority across generation, across industry. So we create mentoring program. And I would like just to give 2 anecdotes on this experience to show how you bring value by sharing all this. So we organize dinners with 15, 20 influential women, and the first dinner we organized, we had this partner in an American law firm, a top American law firm, and she introduced herself and she told us about her experience of being promoted a partner. And she said that when you want to be promoted a partner, you need the support of other partners, and the only one who didn't support her was the one female partner that was there. And so that's something that needs to be eradicated nowadays. And I will go one step forward. We need to create this sorority with women like you that help the next generation. And hence I'm going to give the second anecdote. After our dinners at Leaders, we match those female leaders with talented students. And we matched Sarah with the students at Sciences Po in journalism, with Saskia, with journalist at CNN. And Saskia pushed, supported, and helped Sarah to apply at the Master in Digital Journalism at NYU. She helped her with her essay, with a recommendation later, and not only Sarah was accepted, but she got the Merit Scholarship. But the story doesn't stop there. Merit Scholarship covers 75% of the tuition, so you had 25% left, and 25% of American universities, it's still a big chunk of money. And Sarah called me and said, I'm coming from the best school in France. Why do I need to go there? And number 2, my parents don't have the money. I don't know what to do. So should I do it? So we pushed her and we put her in touch with other people who told her she had to go through that. And we sent an email to our network, and Corinne Vigreux, who is the founder of TomTom, financed the missing part, and someone else found an accommodation for Sarah. And I think, number 1, today Sarah works at the Financial Times in New York, so I think we might have changed. She was very talented to start with, but this experience, life is being talented, but also going through experience, and I think we might have changed her life, but also the most important is that we planted a little seed in Sarah's head that she has been helped, to contrast with the first story that I told you. And this is why it's so important that women like you who have been through this journey, you have seen the obstacle, you are here and you share your experience. So I wanted to thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
It's a great pleasure.